What's up guys, Hansi here and I'm back with another project. And I'm super excited to tell you about this one because me and Martina, we got a van last year and we are turning it into a camper. We started building this last year, and this episode I'm just gonna get you up to date on what we have already done on this van. So the first thing we had to do was to clear everything on the inside of the van out of the van. So after clearing out everything on the inside, we decided that we need another window. As you may have noticed, this car is not huge, it's not the biggest van you can get, and to get the feeling of more space, we decided another window will just create more open feeling. It will also allow more light to go into the car, so that was something we decided we had to have. Right here I'm cleaning up a window, and that's because we got a window second-hand. It was already installed in a car similar to ours. After it was cleaned out, it looked pretty nice and we had saved some money. This was the first time I used a jigsaw to cut in metal, let alone a car, so it was quite clumsy and it was quite scary too. One thing we really didn't want was to have the edges rust on us, so we made sure to file them down and sand them before applying some anti-rust. The rubber seal here is to make the edges look better on the inside, as well as making sure that you can't touch a sharp metal edge. It also serves as a bit of a protector for the metal. So we spent quite a lot of time on YouTube before to try to figure out how to fasten this window. We figured out that it was quite important to have a continuous line of sealant just to make sure that there wouldn't be any air or water allowed to leak through the seal, and the seal had to be sufficiently tall as well just to not have any gaps in it. The window has been drying for a couple of days. Now I'm just gonna clean it and then we can check if it's waterproof. Okay, moment of truth, time to see if it's waterproof. So after inserting the new window, by the way, we got really happy with this window. It's waterproof, everything looks nice. This is when we decided we need a ventilation fan. Or actually we decided quite a lot before because we already ordered it online. But we basically have to cut a hole in the roof of the car and insert that ventilation fan. We also wanted to add a connector box where the solar electronics or the solar cables can go through and inside the car to eventually connect to the batteries, which we will add much later. After we drilled a hole for the ventilation fan in the roof of the car, we noticed that there was a quite large gap between the fan and the roof itself. And this was larger than I felt comfortable filling with only silicone, so we found something called plastic putty meant to be used on cars. And what we did was we mounted the ventilation fan onto the roof, and then we filled all the large gaps with this plastic putty. And once it had dried properly, we removed the ventilation fan, leaving a flat surface for the fan to sit on. And this is where we place our sealant, our marine silicone, which will create a nice and waterproof seal for the fan so that we don't get any water into the car. That's not what you want from the fan. So obviously we'll be driving quite a lot around in this van when it's finished, and we'll be accessing public wireless networks. And I'm always concerned about my privacy when I'm accessing public wireless networks. That's why I'm always using a VPN service like Surfshark, and they actually contacted us and asked if they could sponsor this video, which was a super great match. So basically they have a quite cheap VPN service, and what this does is that it basically routes your traffic through their tunnel. It's very fast, but if somebody in your environment is trying to look at your data, at your traffic, then it will be protected by their tunnel. And obviously, in addition to increased privacy and security from the VPN service, you also get the possibility to connect from different locations around the world, which is super nice if you want to access location-based information like Netflix that is only available in a specific region, or a television program that can only be accessed from a specific country. That's a quite nice and useful use case for a VPN service. If you use our link, you get 85% off and the first 3 months for free. That's surfshark.com/nerdforge. So go check them out. They are super awesome. Thank you for sponsoring this video. Now, the next part we're gonna do is to insert the solar panels at the top, or at least we're gonna create a mount for the solar panels. I really want the solar panels to be able to be taken on and off, because we don't want to drive with them all the time when we're just going to use this as a normal car. So that's why we created a system for just locking it to the rails on top of the car, and they can be taken on and off at any time. So this far we have added a new window, added a ventilation fan, added the option to add solar panels on top. The last thing we're gonna be doing is to run tubes for the wires on the inside and just insulate the nooks and crannies that are not that easy to reach later on. This step required quite a bit of planning, because I had to figure out where we needed our electrical appliances later on. So this is mainly for the fan, for the lighting setup. Maybe we will have some electricity where we will have our kitchen unit, and we will definitely have some lights right around where the bed will be. So this is where I added the tubes to. And for the insulation, this is just some basic foam insulation I'm using to reach the nooks and crannies. Later on I will add more insulation for the van, or this is gonna be incredibly hot in the summer. So in this video we added a setup for the solar panel, added an extractor fan, inserted a new window. We gotta think about where to head next. I think we're gonna start adding the reflective insulation inside of the car, and then we can start building the wooden frame, which everything will be connected to, and which will be the framework for the entire inside of the van. Super excited to see where this project takes us, and I hope you will leave a comment to say what you think about it. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes content. This is the first day of insulating the van, and today I made a huge mess. Just take a look at this. And check out surfshark.com/nerdforge if you need a cheap and reliable VPN service. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.